Greetings everyone, welcome to Advanced, and this game is a spectacular game that happened in FIDE Swiss 2025 with the black pieces. Here we have Vaishali Rameshbabu, a really strong grandmaster, and she's on the top of the board. And now here it's going to be very difficult. With the white pieces we have Tan Zhongyi, and it's going to be very difficult for Tan Zhongyi to do anything against her because Tan Zhongyi needs to win to be able to have some chances for qualification. But Vaishali, all she needs is a draw to actually win the FIDE Swiss second time in a row. She won the first time in 2023, and now she has that opportunity again. So let's see how she's able to do with this, because if you get into the mindset of actually trying to go for a draw, sometimes what happens is basically you play very worse and then you lose the game as well. So I know that she's a very attacking player. She's by nature a really insane attacker. So let's see how she's able to deal with this. Here c4 by Tan Zhongyi. When you want to win, you want to start with an English already. Here just c5, knight to f3, knight to f6, g3, and d5. And now just c captures, knight captures, bishop to g2, and just knight to c6, d4. Now c captures, knight captures, and now just going for this knight b to knight to b4, and we have knight to b5, bishop to f5 now. And you could trade, but it won't give you anything. I just get the rook into the game, and my position is absolutely amazing, and I don't have to worry about anything in this position. I can also capture with the king, because the threat is that. So here just castles now, but just a6 pushing the knight back, and just knight to a5, and now finally going for it. Just queen captures, rook captures, and just g6 now in this position. You want to fiend get to the bishop, you want to get the bishop pair, and there's already some pressure. Maybe with the pieces being all congested, you would be able to do something about that. Here just bishop d2, but now just comes this rook a to d1, rook a to d8, and now just here knight to c3, bishop to g7, knight to c4. And now what do you do in this position? If you feel like you can castle, yes, you can castle, there is nothing wrong with that. But now just a3 comes, and you're gonna have to remaneuver the knight this way, and you can get the knight centralized, and you cannot play a dumb move like b4 in this position, because then the knight jumps in, and yeah, that fork is going to be very nasty. So here in this position, just after knight to c4, bishop to c2 was played first by Vaishali, just trying to attack the rook. And now once the rook moves, now you play b5. b5 is a very nice idea here in this position. And what do? a3 seems like a decent option, bishop capture seems like a decent option, and also nothing other than that, because here you have to understand that knight is defending, you're attacking. If you're able to remove the defender, also there is very nice move here. If you go for bishop captures, the trouble is I just go knight captures, I don't have to worry about anything. If you go for rook captures and the pawn captures, yes, I have isolated pawns. Yes, that could be a problem, but it is not going to be a problem, because that's exactly what happened in the line that was played in this position. a3 was played by Tan Zhongyi, and here just b captures. So you don't have to worry about anything in this position. Now just a captures, but after knight caps on b4, you're still defending the knight, and there is nothing here you can do. If you go for knight to d5 now, just knight captures, rook captures, and just castles in this position. Yes, those are isolated pawns, and now you can grab them. Rook caps on a6 was played, but just e6 comes. Just that knight is very much amazingly centralized, and the problem with the move like rook caps on c4 is that just bishop captures, and there is nothing you can do. Even if you go for bishop to h6, just bishop goes back, bishop captures, king captures, and you can understand this is a very known theoretical draw. There is nothing you can do. Yes, with the two rooks you can still try to press, but other than that, if one player doesn't do an insane blunder, other than that, there is nothing wrong with this position. You're most likely going to be ending in a draw. But after e6 we have e4, and now just comes knight goes back. We have rook to b6, rook to b8, and now just going for rook captures, and now just finally defending the pawn, trying to maybe capture this pawn later and maybe have a chance to actually do something with that pass pawn, but it's highly unlikely. Here just c3 now, but now just b captures, knight to d5, and rook to b2, and now just moving the rook away with a very nice tactic that she found. Here just rook caps on b5, but rook to a1. You cannot defend. There is no way to actually defend the bishop. So with that, you're just going to lose it. So here just rook to b8 check was played, bishop to f8, and bishop to f1 to not allow that to come with the check, but also to activate the bishop later as well. And now just comes rook captures, rook to c8, king to g7, and now just going for this king to g2, bishop to b4, and just c4. If you had captured, you can see that that's very obvious. Here just rook to c2, but just king to f3, rook to c3 check, king moves, rook goes back, and you can go for a draw right here as well. But Tan Zhongyi decided to play a few more moves because she's in a must-win situation. You cannot just go for a draw now. Bishop to h3 was played, rook to c2 check, king to f1, rook to c1 check, king to g2, and h5 now. But now just rook to c7, and yeah, just king to f8, f4, rook to c2 check, king to g1, and bishop to c3. You can see the king is very vulnerable. Even if you try to bring it back, where do you even go with the king? But the thing is that I'm just gonna continue to give check, Vaishali says, and yeah, won't be able to do anything about that. King to g7 was played, but after rook to c7 we have bishop to f8, and the trouble is that you have opposite colored bishop. So even if that pass pawn somehow just gets hit, I know that still somewhere along the line I would be able to maybe just grab a few pawns, sack the bishop for the pawn, and even if I'm able to get 2 or 3 pawns, it still will be a draw in the end game. So there is nothing you can do, and Tan Zhongyi knows it. After rook to c8 check was played, king to g7 was played, but it was on this move, on just move 43, that both players decided to agree for a draw, and with that Vaishali wins the FIDE Swiss 2025 She won the FIDE Swiss 2023, so she is the defending champion. So defending champion has won again in a spectacular fashion, and it's a great victory for Vaishali's confidence as well, because in Chennai Convoc she was playing in the challenger section, and the tournament did not end well for her. But the trouble is, that's where you actually try to rise to the occasion, because when a tournament doesn't go well for you. She said in an interview that she did not want to play FIDE Swiss 2025, but I'm sure her coaches would have told her that go for it. It will do you a lot good. It will help your confidence a lot, and that's actually what's shown. Because once you Sagar said in a spectacular like way that if you are playing a tournament and it goes horribly wrong, and if you don't break in that moment, then the next few rounds and the next few tournaments that's going to be there are going to be your absolutely best in your life. So that's exactly the thing that happens in life that applies to these tournaments as well. Kudos to Vaishali, played spectacularly. I've covered some of her games as well. 22 moves victory against Aline Robers was absolutely spectacular. Then she beat Olga Badalga as well, and she beat so many other players. She also suffered a loss, but after that she quickly came back, won the game, and then a few draws, and later the final draw, which just trusted her victory here in FIDE Swiss. And yeah, it was a spectacular moment. If you haven't checked out the closing ceremony, it will give you goosebumps. Getting the award and the national anthem absolutely was just one of the best feelings in the world. You can check that out on Chessbase India channel. It was absolutely amazing, and again, a huge congratulations to Vaishali for getting this victory in a spectacular manner. And also, she gets the candidate spot as well, so she's going to be pushing for that as well, and really a great result. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with such amazing games, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you very much for watching.